as healthcare providers, like we get access to read things that not everybody gets to read,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's things that makes me feel better, and sometimes it's things that terrify me. So
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And as we know, we almost know too much because we know that there's, I mean, these early warning kind of symptoms that you and I have both read about, that some of the healthcare providers read about. As things are going on, we get more information about, oh, well, this is an early sign, and this is an early sign. So anosmia is an early sign where you can't suddenly, your food doesn't smell the same, or you can't smell at all, or things don't taste the same. Like diarrhea, GI symptoms can be an early sign. Sore throat sore throat is an early sign. So like every morning I get up, it's dry, right? So every morning I got a little sore throat. I'm like, is this the morning? Is this it?
right,
Is this
I
the
know,
sore throat? It's
I
crazy.
know,
And then I
I
go
know.
downstairs and there's like food around because we're making breakfast for the kids, and I start like compulsively sniffing the food. I'm like, is this it? Is this really? Am I smelling it? Am I not smelling? Yeah, it can drive you crazy, this stuff.
Yeah, it definitely does. And, I just try to look at the overall numbers, 96, 97% people do fine.
Yeah,
They do
yeah,
well, and a lot of people get it and don't know. In fact, a lot of us may have already have gotten it.
right. And there's
I
UK
was,
UK information coming out about that. That's interesting.
yeah. And so, if a lot of us have already gotten it, that would be, the best case scenario, because then we're going to be developing herd immunity at a more rapid rate.
Right.
But we just, right now, the scary part is our healthcare system being overwhelmed.
On the one hand, I really, I'd love to get back to work. On the other hand, it's this kind of this awful social distancing is the only tool we have right now,
Right,
as we try
right.
to race to develop some sort of treatment and, of course, vaccine. But vaccine's far off. I don't think that's the hope. The hope is that tell me what you think. But to my mind, the hope is that we can find something that works, that helps
Right,
decompress the healthcare system, where
right.
you don't have a situation where physicians are, like in Italy, where people over 60 are being denied ventilators, or physicians have to call out who dies and who lives.
So what have you been doing to cope? Like, how have you been, like, kind of, when you're with your family, are you able to take your mind off of this kind of stuff and enjoy your family, or do you
Yeah.
find it, like, kind of consuming you all the time? What are you doing to stay sane? Like, how are you coping?
Well, there's so much pandemonium at our house these days that staying sane is kind of it's that train may have left the station. Um, but I think, I mean, yeah, we try to just kind of make routines and make kind of, like, okay, we're getting up at this time, and then this is nap time, this is this time, and so everybody can have some sort of, I think what gives people stress is uncertainty, is not knowing what to expect. 'Cause so when there's some sort of routine, you know what to expect from the day, and you can kind of structure the day in your head. And I think that's something that people may want to think about. I'm sure that people are doing it anyways, and I'm sure you guys are doing the same kind of thing, where I know, okay, I'm going, I know that looking ahead through the day, I know that in the afternoon from this time to this time, I can have some time to, like, maybe go online, take a look at what's going on, and feel like I'm informed, and talk to people and stuff like that. But during this time, it's it's baby time. You're hearing that?
I am.
Yeah. So we have. Do you guys have grandparents around?
We do. So my wife's mom lives with us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's been, hugely helpful, because, 2 out of 3 of us need to be doing something with babies.
Yeah.
So
For sure, for sure. So I have the same situation where my wife's mom and dad are here and living with us. Thank God, because
right.
we used to have a nanny, but it doesn't make sense, because then they were, I was just, it's kind of like I wasn't sure that they weren't bringing, how
Of
careful they
course.
were outside.
Of course.
But it's funny because, so my mother-in-law is spectacular. She's like wonderful with the kids. She's super energetic and stuff like that. I think my father-in-law, maybe one of those people for whom babysitting is just not in their wheelhouse, perhaps, because literally, and I want to keep my voice down a little bit. Literally 15 minutes ago, like I'm doing something, I hear this sudden scream, and I go over to the living room, and my Zeno, the older one, looks. He's got a little, not a little bloody thing on his forehead, and so he fell off of the, this little bench that we have. And I'm like, oh, I'm comforting him, and it's like, it's okay, no big deal. And Grandpa was supposed to be watching him, but he was watching videos instead.
Oh.
And so then, okay, but that's one thing. And then I look up, and I look at the wall, and in the meantime, Zeno has gotten a magic marker, and the entire wall is covered in red magic marker. The whole thing, and I'm
man.
Some people, so some people babysitting is a good thing, and some people it's more of a reach. I don't know.
Totally. Yeah. So you've got to have, it's not just any grandparent. The grandparent has to be like,
yeah, they really do.
Well, luckily, both of my wife's parents are awesome with the kids. They're just really, really great, and we can just totally, leave them. I mean, they're more lenient than we are, which makes it challenging for us to enforce like rules,
right?
Which
but that's always. I mean, that's always going to be the case.
Yeah. So I'm like, this morning I'm like, you got to sit in your high chair. She's like, I'm not sitting in my high chair. She like throws her cereal across the, and I'm just like, okay.